Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you to talk about the greatest battlefield in the world. It is not found in the streets, not in the halls of government, and not in the fields of war. It is in your own mind. Your mind is the seat of your potential, the control center of your destiny, and the factory of your future. But just as there are forces that can build, there are also enemies that seek to destroy. The greatest tragedy in life is not death. It is a life lived below its potential because the mind was held hostage by invisible enemies. What are these enemies? Let me expose them today so you can reclaim your power and fulfill your purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, today I bring to your attention a battle that is waged not with swords, not with guns, not in the physical realm, but in the unseen corridors of the human mind. This battlefield is not in a distant land, nor is it in the hands of external forces. It is within each of us. And the war is against enemies that seek to suffocate potential, imprison vision, and assassinate destiny. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have been given. It is the birthplace of dreams, the architect of destiny, and the foundation upon which your life is built. But the mind, if left unguarded, becomes a stronghold for enemies that are more dangerous than external opposition. These enemies do not come with guns or chains. They come disguised as thoughts, habits, and beliefs that work silently to undermine your purpose. Today, I expose these enemies, for an enemy that is exposed is an enemy that can be defeated. The first, and perhaps the greatest of them all, is ignorance, the darkness that destroys potential. Ignorance is not merely the absence of knowledge, it is the rejection of truth. It is the most dangerous condition a man can find himself in because it blinds him to his own ability, his own opportunities, and his own purpose. Ignorance is the silent thief of greatness, the invisible shackle that binds generations in cycles of failure, poverty, and mediocrity. A man who is ignorant is not a free man, for he is controlled not by external forces but by the limits of his own unawareness. Throughout history, the greatest oppressor of humanity has not been war, slavery, or political power. It has been ignorance. A man who is kept from knowledge is a man kept from freedom. Knowledge is the key that unlocks potential, and when you withhold knowledge, you condemn a person to live far beneath what they were created to be. The mind was designed to seek truth, to explore possibilities, and to unlock doors to new reality. But when the mind is deprived of knowledge, it becomes a prisoner to limitations that were never meant to exist. Ignorance manifests in different ways. It is seen when people accept limitations as reality simply because they have never been exposed to something greater. It is seen when people reject opportunities out of fear, simply because they have never been taught to see beyond their immediate circumstances. It is seen when people live in the same cycles of struggle and failure, not because they are incapable of rising, but because they do not know that they were designed to rise. Ignorance is passed down like an inheritance, transferring limitations from one generation to the next. A child raised in ignorance will grow into an adult who believes that the small world they are introduced to is the only world that exists. They will make decisions based on what they know, and if what they know is limited, their future will be limited. A man will only pursue what he believes is possible, and if his knowledge is small, his vision will be small. It is not enough to have a dream. You must have the knowledge to fulfill it. A person can have all the talent in the world, but without knowledge, that talent will remain buried beneath the surface. A man can have a great destiny, but without wisdom, he will sabotage his own future. A person can have access to opportunities, but if they lack the awareness to recognize them, those opportunities will slip through their fingers like sand. Ignorance is costly. It will cause you to reject what was meant to bless you. It will cause you to fear what was meant to elevate you. It will cause you to doubt what was meant to empower you. It is the reason why many die full of potential but empty of accomplishment. It is the reason why nations remain underdeveloped while others thrive. It is the reason why people settle for a life far below their calling, simply because they do not know that there is more.